Hello, everyone. I am Kenneth Anthony D'Souza, and this is my professional practice in the sports industry action research presentation. The organization that I interned with was Reliance Foundation Young Champs. I had applied for this internship opportunity directly by reaching out to Mr. Nihal Colasso, who's the lead of social media and content for Reliance Foundation Young Champs. Reliance Foundation Young Champs, also known as RFYC, is a renowned and devoted grassroots football academy with the mission of developing young talent in the game of football at grassroots level. It is India's first ever 5-star rated football academy by the All India Football Federation's Academy Accreditation Assessment System, making RFYC the best academy in the country over the past few years. The facility is based in Navi Mumbai and it began in 2015. Currently, RFYC alumni are playing in the Indian Super League, which is the top professional football league in India. The organization dedicates to all-round development of players, providing 5-star facilities, a skilled coaching team, and priceless partnerships with other brands across the country. Currently, there are 88 young talented footballers who play across 5 different age categories in the academy. The opportunity to be a part of RFYC allowed me to combine my passion for football, work in sports, and have a chance to contribute to the development of young talent and be part of a journey to shape the future of Indian football. As suggested by MA, organizations or brands use social media to build awareness of their product and create a communication system with their consumers or fans. With a similar thought process, RFYC started their social media content team in 2022 with Nihal overseeing it. As mentioned earlier, I applied for this role by reaching out to Nihal directly via LinkedIn. He was kind enough to provide me with an opportunity by talking to his higher ups. His vision for the social media and content team is to capture moments so everyone involved can always look back and see how far they've come as a team. I have always been part of sports by being an athlete, but this was my first time where I was working on the other side of the sporting world. The internship was a valuable opportunity for me to gain practical experience in the field of branding and content creation. By actively participating in the current projects and how ideas can be generated, I was completely involved with this. My role as a brand and content analyst intern was divided into 4 sections. The first was where I conduct a preliminary analysis of the brand. The second was to monitor industry trends in regards to content creation. This subjected for me to analyze social media pages of sporting organizations in the country and internationally. The third one was to gain insight of RFYC's audience of followers, studying their preferences and creating and engaging content that resonates with them. The fourth one was for me to provide a feedback on the current department wise content which is being already generated in RFYC. From RFYC standpoint, having an intern on board was a perfect opportunity for them as well. Sporting organizations usually have limited resources in terms of manpower and budget, so having another person on board who can support the content team was an advantage. As the RFIC content team is new, having an outsider's perspective on the content being generated is important as they can review it and make any changes to keep the content relevant for their fans or followers. Time and effort must be invested to manage and sustain an active social media presence. With more hands on desk, the work can be distributed and the job can be done in half the amount of time. Based on my internship, the research question for my action research presentation was straightforward. The first one was what are the current strengths and weaknesses of the brand and its current content strategy. The second one was what content strategies can be used to enhance engagement so that we can resonate with the current social media followers. Now that we have our questions, next thing is the methodology of gathering information. As per Hayem and Crocker, when a research is being conducted, researchers have three options of gathering information. One is qualitative, the second one is quantitative, and the other one is the mixed methodology, which is a combination of both qualitative and quantitative. To answer our first research question, this is where we have gone ahead and collected qualitative information by performing a SWOT analysis. By performing this SWOT analysis, we will find the strength and weaknesses of the brand and how we can improve their content strategy. Second one is in regards to the quantitative data. In order to understand the type of content that resonates with the Reliance Foundation Young Champs social media followers, I've gone ahead and conducted a survey where a questionnaire was passed out to the followers. Okay, now we move on to the SWOT analysis. According to Coleman and Ronan, a SWOT analysis of an organization gives both an internal and external perspective through strengths and weakness as well as opportunities and threats. Reliance is one of the biggest brands in India and they are involved in many sectors. These sectors include clothing, footwear, electronics, and now in sports. This is a massive strength for the academy as a whole because Reliant has a positive brand image in India and it resonates with RFIC. As stated earlier, RFIC has state of the art facilities and it is India's only 5-star rated academy. Further, RFIC not only focuses on developing footballer or the footballing aspects, but has a holistic approach of grooming better individuals. Now we move on to the weaknesses. The academy is currently only in Mumbai. There are many promising footballers who are not aware of this academy, but by using social media and creating relevant content, we can make people more aware of it. Even though there are many alumni who play in the Indian Super League as stated prior, RFIC are yet to use that to their favor by making them brand ambassadors of the academy. Moving on to the opportunities, RFIC can create a positive brand image by collaborating with local communities to raise awareness on multiple issues. By effective brand and relevant content, RFIC can capitalize the growing footballing fan base in India, as football is one of the most followed sports right after cricket in India. Now, last but not the least, we move on to the threats. Okay, even though RFIC is one of the best academies for grassroots football and development in India, there are many other academies which are starting across the country. This may lead to RFIC missing out on upcoming stars and bright futures. Last, as stated earlier, Reliance is one of the biggest brands in India. Any negative publicity in any of the sectors that they are involved in can hamper RFIC's reputation, and this may lead to their competition giving an upper hand. By looking at all of this information that we provided through the SWOT analysis, we can come to a conclusion that the current brand presence of Reliance is massive in India, and this obviously helps the Reliance Young Foundation as well. It gives them an upper hand when it comes to their competition. By capitalizing on all of their strengths, addressing all of their weaknesses, exploring their opportunities, and reducing their threats as much as possible, RFIC can further enhance their position as a leading grassroots football academy and continue making positive impact on youth development. To answer the second part of the research question, we moved on to the quantitative data. According to Grattan and Jones, a questionnaire can be divided into 4 categories. Okay, But in this research, we've gone ahead and conducted an online questionnaire. We used Qualtrics to gather feedback on Reliance Foundation Young Champs content and how we, as the content team, can better meet the expectations and interests of our audience or the followers. Our participants, or our sample rather, were informed that the responses would completely remain anonymous and will only be used for purpose of the study. The survey consisted of multiple choice questions and rating scales. The sample for this research were the followers of the RFYC social media pages, and a convenience sample approach was adopted as it is very straightforward in collection of data and they increase participation rates which is intended for our audience. So the first question that we focused on the questionnaire was how did the follower first hear about Reliance Foundation Young Champs Academy? The research conducted revealed an interesting finding regarding the initial discovery of the social media page. Among the respondents, a significant 67% of them reported that they first heard about the page through a friend, followed by 23% of the followers stated that they've heard it or watched it on a social media platform. This finding highlights the power of word of mouth marketing and the reach of RFYC and its social media presence. It indicates that the followers of the page have actively shared and recommended the content to their social circle, resulting in an extending network of individuals becoming familiar with RFYC. Moving on to the next question, which social media platform do you primarily use to follow Reliance Foundation Young Champs? A significant of 69% of them reported that they primarily use RFIC's Instagram page for content compared to other social media apps. After Instagram, the close was Twitter, which was 13%, followed by Facebook, which was 11%. This finding shows the popularity and effectiveness of RFYC's presence on Instagram in engaging its audience. It indicates that RFYC should focus on Instagram and upload content on this platform for followers to stay up to date with RFYC's latest news and daily content. Now, for a final question, we asked our followers what type of content do they find the most engaging on the social media platforms of Reliance Foundation Young Champs. Based on the response, we found out that training profile and tips, player profile and stories, and behind the scenes footages were the content categories that the followers enjoyed the most. These content formats resonated strongly with the target audience or our followers, and it captured a lot of interest and engagement. The followers really wanted to know the insights of training methods, techniques, and tips on how they can improve their footballing skills. Additionally, the followers showed a strong affinity for player profiles as they were fascinated with the player journeys. Such content basically humanize players and it inspires others to take up the game as well. Further, last but not the least, behind the scene footages provide a unique glimpse of how RFYC works and how players perform or the players' day to day profile is. They can show their dedication, hard work, and passion behind the scenes. These were the three most requested content that the followers enjoyed the most. So, based on my findings, I have provided the recommendations to Nihal. RFIC should focus on delivering regular content on Instagram, as this is where majority of their audience take in the content. They can focus on visually appealing content, which is interactive, and create content that has stories to captivate followers and drive brand awareness. Further, RFIC can amplify their organic reach by actively encouraging its followers to share their experiences, content, and recommendations with their own network. By creating a sense of community and empowering followers to become brand advocates, RFIC can tap into the potential of word of mouth marketing, which they already are doing, and leverage personal recommendations as a powerful driver of brand awareness. Finally, creating regular content on three topics suggested, which are basically the training videos, player stories, and behind the scenes academy footage. These can enhance the whole experience for the followers, and as these content resonate more with the social media followers of RFIC. Last but not the least, I'm going to be talking about a department-wise contact. RFIC currently have team-based posts scheduled every Mondays and Fridays. The Monday content is called Mindful Mondays, which is of the Health and Wellness department, and Friday's content is called the Foodie Fridays, which belongs to the Nutrition department. I was required to provide the content strategies for these two departments. In keeping the findings of the survey in mind, I've come up with two content strategies for Foodie Fridays and four content strategies for Mindful Mondays. The first one for Foodie Fridays is called a sweet spot. Here, the nutritionist asks a player what their favorite dish is, and based on the response, she goes ahead and creates a healthier version of that recipe. The aim is to engage followers to have an interest on healthy food intake, as this is a informative video. Similarly, the second concept is called recovery meal. Here, the nutritionist provides an insight on what kind of meals the players have before workout and after workout, or before match and after match. Okay, and this also engages followers to have an interest on the healthy food intake once they're exhausted. Last but not the least, we have Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays focuses on promoting mindfulness and well-being practices. These posts aim to provide followers with tips, techniques, and inspiration to cultivate mindfulness in their daily lives. These content strategies I've come up with are mindful breathing, mindful appreciation, mindful listening, and finally, mindful eating. To conclude, the Action Research Plan focused on brand and content creation of Reliance Foundation Young Champs. By conducting a survey and analyzing the data collected, we gained a valuable insight into the preferences and interests of the followers. Furthermore, the research highlighted the significance of Instagram and how Instagram should be the primary platform for RFIC social media platforms. Overall, the action research has provided valuable insight and actionable recommendations for RFIC to improve their branding and content creation strategies by implementing the recommendations which were provided above. With this, I conclude my presentation. Have a lovely evening.